Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court criminal docket for February 1st, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Mr. Pantoja, would you call our first case?
Yes, Judge. It's Carter on page 1.
Go ahead.
For 2020-0D05856, State of Texas versus Tyrone Carter. Announcement of counsel, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Gerald Georges, Mr. Carter, present, ready to proceed.
Okay, we're here for a final hearing plea deadline. What's the rec, Ms. King?
Judge, is going to be 5 years, probate 5 years, straight probation, and dismiss 2021-0D02927.
Mr. Georges?
Judge, Mr. Carter says he's innocent and is not going to plead guilty.
Okay, so we're set for trial this week. Obviously, we have postponement or cancellation of trials through the 14th of February. Okay, so the other case that's pending dismissal, if there were a plea, is set for July 15th. Let's go ahead and just put this case on that timetable, Mr. Georges. It should reflect both the 14th and the 15th, Sandy, because we have those two panel dates, assuming things don't change monumentally. So yes, just so that council is aware, those July dates, we do have, and I think Council of Judges is in the process of reorganizing the location based on jury hall availability. So as I reserved it, I did so anticipating we would be using Commissioner's Court, Mr. Georges. So I have requested 4 panels of 57 for Commissioner's Court. Council of Judges, I think, may on its own reorganize us, all the courts for the various states. So just know that's outstanding, might change things a little bit. Maybe not, maybe we stay in Commissioner's Court. But for now, I want to make sure you all know that we have those 2 dates. We'll have a final hearing plea deadline the Tuesday before. Mr. Georges, are there any outstanding motions that require a hearing?
There are none.
Okay, great. All righty, then we can have interim settings, but I really don't know, unless your client picks up another case, how many more settings we really need. Maybe we could just do, Sandy, 30 days out, and then, okay, so we just have a pretrial in April. And then, okay. So we'll go ahead and stick with those settings. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
You may. Thank you, Mr. Georges. Who's next, Tree?
Okay, Judge. Herrera on page 3.
Okay.
Cause number 2021-0D01637. Cause number 2021-0D01152. State of Texas versus Jared Everest Herrera. Announcement of counsel, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Luis Yañez on behalf of Mr. Herrera. Good morning, y'all.
Okay, give me 1 second. I was on the wrong. All righty. Final hearing plea deadline. Ms. King, the rec, please.
Judge, he paid on this case yesterday. We do intend to enter a plea on this, Judge.
Okay, he's not in custody. Miss, what's the rec, Ms. King?
Your Honor, it's going to be 2 AP to concurrent with count 1 and the case that ends in 637, and to dismiss count 2 for, yes, dismiss count 2, which is the theft of firearm. Okay. 2 years probate, 5 years adult probation. I apologize.
Mr. Yañez, what I'm going to do is set your client for a status in 2 weeks. Sandy, let's go ahead and just give them a police center spot as well for that date. So yes, Mr. Yañez, you'll have 2 times on that date. If we have all the plea paperwork and everything's good to go, it'll be the afternoon setting. If we don't have that, then we'll see you in the morning and see where we need to go. Okay?
Yes, very much.
Thank you. Who's next, Chewy?
Hey, Judge Smith on page 5.
Go ahead.
Cause number 2020-0D04117. State of Texas versus Edgar Ulysses Olivas Smith. Announcement of counsel, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
He's my appease on behalf of Mr. Smith.
Okay, and this is, I only have it down for a status hearing. What's going on?
This is a case that we were going to withdraw on, Your Honor, and the court wanted to see if my client could pay, and he has.
Mhm.
That was the
So
reason for the status.
We're back on track? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let me just look it up really quickly. And so we went past a final hearing plea deadline back in December. What are we doing? Are we needing a trial track?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, what is outstanding at this point, Mr. Peace? Do we have any motions, anything that needs to be heard?
Not that I can think of right now, Judge.
Yeah, so I mean, are you telling me otherwise it's good to go so I can get you a trial setting that is not so far down the road?
Correct, Judge.
Okay. Let's go with the March 17th and 18th trial setting. Final hearing plea deadline on March 15th. Again, Mr. Pease, though, that's you know how we reserve trial panels. You may not need 4. I'll leave that up to you all, but I anticipate having 4, again, with the caveat that Council of Judges may be reorganizing our locations for jury selection. So we will see you all, I would say 2 weeks before. So let's do March 1st as a final judges, because I would hope by that point we would already know if we're moved to jury hall, things like that. Okay, and so we can just square away the logistics. Again, if there's any, I guess I failed to mention this on some others, if there's any objections or concerns with the trial protocol that is in place, please file those by that March 1st deadline so that I can hear them and consider them before the actual trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I don't know if I heard, I didn't ask Ms. King, do we have a rec on this one?
Yes, Your Honor, it's 5 deferred with BIP.
Okay. All righty. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Pease. If you don't have anything else, you are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Take care. Who's next, Tree?
Judge Daniel Herrera on page 2.
Right, go ahead.
Cause number 2019-002086, State of Texas versus Daniel Herrera. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Teresa Caballero on behalf of Mr. Herrera, ready?
Good morning, and we were here for a status. I believe we were here about 2 weeks ago, Ms. King. I think it was the first time she had her eyes, I think, on this case. Do you
Yes.
have an update?
I don't judge. This is the one where we have a competency issue. So the only rec we have is the 30 TDC.
Wow, okay. So at this point, Ms. Caballero, I think we do need to go on the issue of competency, have a hearing on it, unless, I mean, I don't know, it's been a while since we had those 2 evaluations. I think Ashley Martinez was here when we got the state's evaluation. You
I
have
don't think
any-
they're challenging it, Your Honor. So
No.
when they're not challenging it, what is the next step?
Well, I think we need to, I mean, we have 2 opinions or evaluations. I mean, I would think under, because I think we were waiting to see if there would be any change in the DA's position on, I guess, DISPO, or what the evaluations would mean for how they were wanting to proceed. I mean, I think the first step really would be to go send him to treatment. And that is going to put things so far down the road to see if we can restore him. I don't know.
When you say send them to treatment, are you talking Big Spring or
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
is there any in-town treatment?
That I'm not aware of. I can maybe check with the 384th and see what options. Do you know of any, Ms. Caballero?
Your Honor, I don't. And I haven't had anybody who was held incompetent and it was agreed to by the state where they were sent to Big Spring. I don't think I've had a client in Big Spring in years. And I did have a federal case about 3 years ago. And the statute's very clear in federal law. And there are like 3 facilities and the person has to go to one of them, but none of them is here. But it seems to me that things have advanced over the years state-wise,
Mhm.
and that there are alternatives locally. You know, his family takes care of him. He's very hard of hearing.
Mhm.
There would be a tragic scene for him to be incarcerated at Big Spring.
If you would indulge me, Ms. Caballero, I don't recall from the evaluations, were there any recommendations with respect to treatment guidelines or guidance from the evaluators?
I'll have to look, Judge. I think one of the evaluators said that it's possible he could be restored.
Yes.
I think that was one of them.
Uh-huh.
I don't recall there being any guidelines on that.
Right.
If you would call Judge Garcia, and I'll also call Judge Garcia,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can come back.
See if there's some treatment options.
Mhm.
I agree with you, actually, 100%. I'm unaware of any options. The 384th may be able to give us some useful guidance on that. If you'll make your efforts, I will as
I will.
well. And we'll come back in 30 days, okay?
Thank you.
Everything
And
else
Miss,
okay with your client?
yes, he's in compliance with his bond. His
Yeah.
family is in constant contact with me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't.
That's ever been the problem. He's been at your office, I remember. It's just a matter of figuring out what we do from this point forward. So let's see if we can explore some I guess, less severe treatment options. Go from there.
And if I could make one request,
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
King, knowing that you're new to the case and knowing what the options are, could you perhaps reach out to your complainants and see really if they want to pursue this?
I have reached out and I have a meeting scheduled, I believe on Friday.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Maybe we can
Okay.
get, without requiring a hearing, if you think there's some significant change in how things may proceed, Ms. King, if you'll kind of circulate some correspondence for sure with Ms. Caballero, and if you both feel that it's something that the court should be apprised of that would make us come back sooner than 30 days, then let me know, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Ms.
Bye-bye.
Caballero. Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much. Bye. Who's next, Chuy?
Judge Marquez on page 5,
Go ahead.
cause number 2020-0D05163, State of Texas versus Omar Marquez. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Jeff Rago on behalf of Mr. Marcus, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning. Give me 1 second. Yeah, this client, he's in custody. Is this one that we quickly reset, Mr. Rago? Let me go to my case summaries really quick.
I don't recall, Judge. I know I just came into this case, but I don't even have portal yet. So
Give me 1 second. Carla, did you have a, I'm going through my emails. Did you have a, there we go, case summaries.
Yes, Judge, I did email
There
it.
it is. Okay.
It was yesterday morning.
I'm looking at it. Let me just
Okay.
go through it. Okay, he was released. I guess, is that Miss Reyes? Miss
Yes,
Reyes, is that
Judge.
what you're here on? Okay.
Yes, ma'am, Judge.
A rearrest on 12/30. Okay, so we have he missed a call-in report at the end of December. He had forgotten, so he did make contact.
He did.
And then he had a rearrest. What's the rearrest for? Let me go back up.
It's an AFB, Judge.
Okay, and that one is still outstanding, I would imagine. Is it end of December?
Yes, and there was an emergency protective order issued.
Okay, so the recommendation from supervision right now is to revoke his supervision. What kind of timetable do you have, Ms. King, if any, on that new case?
Your Honor, I can do, the most I can go down to is 7.
Oh, no, but I mean on the new case, is it filed
Oh.
already? Is it going to be a felony? What
So
is? looking
So
at?
the AFE is actually, we have it, it just needs to go and be accepted by our office.
Uh-huh.
That one, and then, but we actually do have another one that is a felony, and that's the injury to a child and elderly.
Okay,
And we're waiting on the grand jury for that one.
okay. So maybe we can have a better idea of a timetable. Maybe they'll already be indicted by our next setting. Order of appointing was e-filed. Let's see, what was the next setting? Pre-revel set for February 8th and a revel on March 1st. Mr. Rago, do you want to keep those dates? February 8th is basically next week. Happy to come back next week, but gotta think that that might be a quick turnaround.
I do too, Judge. I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Sure. So we're going to cancel the February 8th setting with your agreement, Mr. Rago, and move to the March 1st revo date. Okay?
That sounds better, Judge. With the understanding that it's going to be a pre-revel, correct?
Correct. I mean, with the revels generally, unless I'm hearing from you all, we're not, that you actually want either a contested revo. It's just another probation setting.
Okay, sounds good, Judge.
All right, we'll see you on March 1st. Thank you.
Thank
And
you,
Ms.
Honor.
King, if
May I
you'll just, yes, sir. If you'll just either shoot an email or something, see how quickly we can get those new cases, might help us figure out a solution. Who's next, Chewy?
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Reyes.
Page 3,
Mm-hmm.
cause number 2019-0D06012, cause number 2021-0D00454, cause number 2020-0D01157, State of Texas versus Elijah Andres Miranda. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
And Daniel Avila for the defendant. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. So we're here at a final hearing plea deadline, but we're already at our backup setting. I feel like this one was supposed to be resolved and then somehow it's still here. What's the record?
Judge, it's 10 deferred with mental health services and
Okay.
restitution.
And restitution?
Yes.
Is the restitution determined, by the way, or?
Yes, it's $989.97.
Judge, I think we're right for a plea, Your Honor. So if we get the paperwork, we'll take care of it. Does that make sense?
Yes, let me check something.
I like your new office, Miss King.
I know she has like it almost seems like it's not here. Like when I see that tree, I'm like, but I think I know where I think you're on the same row I was in when I was in the DA's office. That view looks close to one that I'm a little concerned because we have, I know this is one where, you know, we had the bond hearings, the court was really on the fence. I have a report here from PR that says he's not compliant with PR bond conditions. And I'm trying to figure out why, because in the comments, it says Mr. Miranda is currently open with Takumi with his mental health treatment. Defendant has been compliant with mental health treatment, has been taking meds. Defendant has been reporting every other week. Oh, that's what it is. He's been reporting every other week instead of every week.
Right, Judge, and I can make a representation of the court, Judge. We were in CCR2 last week, where Ms. Garcia from MHMR, well, we don't call it MHMR, let's say EHN, but she showed up, gave a wonderful report. Everybody was happy. The court was happy. Mr. Miranda looks healthy, looks stable, and so I can make a representation of the court that he's good and compliant, at least with the mental health services that this court and everybody was concerned with.
So here's something also on top of that is that I have him down as a no-show yesterday for checking in. Am I right on that, Chewy?
Judge, Mr. Miranda checked in later in the afternoon at 1:36. So I sent out the list.
Okay. All right. So he did check in. All right. So then we're going to do a status in 2 weeks. Anticipating that we will have the plea ready to go. Same thing, Sandy, we'll give them a morning slot and an afternoon slot. Let's just get that paperwork in. Mr. Avalar with an exclamation point and some kind of emoji.
I'll take care of it.
Okay. All right. I feel like I'm supposed to yell your name, Ms. Travelar, because you have an exclamation point into your last.
Daniel.
All right, it's February. Hello, let's go. Next case. Does Mr. Avalar have anything else, Chewy?
He's got one other case, Judge, signs on page 4.
Okay, go ahead.
Cause number 2020-0D03333, State of Texas versus Itati Signs. Announcement to council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
And Daniel Avalar for Itati Science.
Again, final hearing, plea deadline. Ms. King, what's the rec?
Your Honor, I believe, give me 1 second. Did file an MTA. Let's see. It is loading.
I know the rec.
There she is.
I know it's going to be TDC rec.
Ándale.
That doesn't sound right at all. At all. I promise.
Doesn't sound right at all. Okay, so it looks like back in September, we were looking at some restitution,
Yeah, that's what it is. Sorry.
but we've
She's just
gone
gotta-
past.
She's got to pay some restitution, and then the state's going to cut it loose. The issue is just kind of getting her to pay. She has some in Iota. I think she has half in Iota. So it's one of those, Judge, where she's just got to bring funds, and it's taking time to bring those funds. But we have at least half in our Iota.
Ms. King, if you look at it for a second.
Okay, yes. Forget what I said. So it is actually a restitution of $3,385.30 in the NCTI class for dismissal, but the restitution up front.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So what kind of movement have we had? Because we had a final hearing plea deadline back in May. And then we had a restitution notation in September. I mean, what movement? I mean,
Yeah, I'll be honest with the court, and I think it's on our end, Judge. I think it's just getting her to come up with funds. That really that's all it is, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's slow movement, but there is some movement.
So we're gonna do a reset of the final hearing plea deadline to February 22nd.
Okay.
And your client has to be present. Okay. I don't think we will reach that trial date that week, although we do have the panel set, but I want to see her here and find out what the holdup is. I know money is not an easy thing.
Yeah.
But if she's kind of worked on it and then left it to the wayside, ultimately, I think we would be looking at a July trial date, but it really doesn't sound like it's going to be necessary. So let's just get her in here and find out what the holdup is. Okay?
And it's by Zoom. She'll be required to attend in Zoom?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. See you then.
I'll take care of it. Okay. May I be excused?
Do we?
Yes, Judge, he's good to go. Thanks, Daniel.
All right.
Bye,
Thanks,
Mr.
y'all. Be
Robert.
safe.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks. Appreciate
Who's
you.
next, Chewy?
Okay, Judge Crawford on page 1.
Okay, go ahead.
Clause number 2020-0D05715, State of Texas versus Jared Ellen Crawford. Announcement to council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Mr. Perez, you're muted.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Robert Pettis, Mr. Crawford.
Great. Final hearing plea deadline. Ms. King, what's the rec?
5 deferred, Judge.
So is this one the one where we're waiting on Mr. Serrano on the misdemeanor? I didn't think it was. I have a notation here at the last final hearing plea deadline as per judge to check status of 2019-0C09873, no future dates.
Your Honor, if I may, that misdemeanor pled a 1/20/22.
Oh, okay. So was,
We just need our papers and we'll get this thing moving.
okay, you mean plea papers? Is this gonna be a plea or dismissal?
Please, yes.
Okay, so we're gonna, Monday.
We have sent the plea paperwork.
Oh,
Okay. I will get
I can
those.
resend it today.
Okay, we'll get those executed as soon as possible.
okay. So we got 2 weeks status in the morning. And I'm gonna give you a plea setting for the afternoon for the plea center. Mr. Perez, if we have our paperwork in time, then obviously it's not a morning hearing, it'll be the afternoon plea.
Play in 2 weeks in the afternoon?
Correct.
Got it.
there's also a status though. So in the event we have an issue with the plea papers, we need to find out what's going on.
Okay, and if we have all the plea papers are all in and everything's ready to go, I guess I don't have to get in with the status?
Correct.
Wonderful. Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you, Judge.
Who's next, Judy?
Okay, Judge Reyes on page 4.
Okay, go ahead.
Cause number 2017-0D01391. Cause number 2021-0D02427. State of Texas versus Ricardo Esteban Reyes. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Julia Martin on behalf of Mr. Reyes, Your Honor.
Okay, give me 1 second again. I lose that. There we go, Mr. Reyes. All right, Carla, can you give me an update, please? We're here for probation status hearing.
Yes, Your Honor.
Pending jail.
We're pending. Okay, so Mr. Reyes has the outstanding cases. He hasn't,
Okay.
there really hasn't been any update, Judge. He hasn't reported. So we were following up, Judge. This goes back to like July of 2021. We extended him for a year, an additional year. He was to comply. We had a 60-day review status for compliance. He wasn't testing as instructed back in July as he was instructed. He didn't complete the drug offender class. He didn't attend his TAP appointment.
Carla, let me go ahead and stop you. It looks like we were trying to get some things accomplished in December and he has not complied with those.
No,
right?
Judge, he didn't. He was to follow up, comply. He didn't. And he was to turn himself in, but we still have the outstanding cases.
Okay, let me go back over here, Mr. Reyes. Okay, so we have our motion. He's not complying. I know there's a recommendation of a 10-day jail commitment, Julia. At this point, I'm really not there. So
Your
do
Honor,
we have a number? Go ahead, Ms. King.
I do have a rec of 3 TDC on the new case, the impeding breath on count 1 and 2, and I will dismiss the impeding count 3.
Okay, so on 2021 case, the rec is 3 TDC. What is that? Let me go back. Where's his other case? I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Okay, 422. That's not going to work. Okay, well, let me ask you, Ms. Martin, let's start with the new case. What are we looking at on that one? I mean, we have our jury trial. Is he wanting to go to trial? What's going on?
Last time I spoke with him, he wanted to go to trial, Your Honor.
Okay.
So that's what's going on with that case.
Okay.
I have encouraged him to turn himself in.
Okay.
And well, we can only do so much. Ms. King, you're saying that a dismissal on count 3 of that case?
Yes, which is the, I believe is the impeding count.
Okay. And you would run that, of course, concurrent with the probation matter, correct?
Correct, with the plea of truth.
So I want to just go ahead and change something on this one. Is there anything outstanding on that new case that requires a hearing, Ms. Martin?
No, Your Honor, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so we need to move that trial date around. Do you have any issues with April 7th and 8th? Do you have any, are you going to be out? I thought you had a vacation certificate in at some point.
Vacation certificate, let me check the dates on it, Your Honor.
Sure, sure.
April 11th through the 18th
Yeah.
is when I'm out, and then again in June, I'm out from the 21st until July 1st.
April 11th to 18th. Okay, so we're going to need to go ahead and give a backup date, Sandy, to that April 22nd date, and that will be May 19th and 20th. Yeah. We're going to run that probation case to track the new case, and we'll just see if we get him.
Judge, I'm so sorry. Can you give me the April and May dates again?
So he's currently set for April 22nd. I don't want to just totally remove that, but we don't have panels for that date. So I just want to add May 19th and 20th.
Got it. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because that doesn't conflict, I think, with
Okay.
schedule. All righty.
Thank you,
We'll
Your
keep
Honor.
all our other settings. Thank you very much.
I'll hang around for my next one.
Who's next, Chief?
Urias on page 5,
Okay, go ahead.
cause number 2018-0D01098, State of Texas versus Abraham Urias. Announcement of council, please.
Robert King for the state of Texas.
I believe Ms. Ibavin was going to take care of that one. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I have emails from Mr. Stevens. Hello, Ms. Bavin. And I do see Mr. Urias is appearing. We're here for a motion for early discharge. This one, we just kind of got the heads up last week, right? Ms. Bavin, I think that's when I got the email
Yes.
from your office. Okay. Alrighty, so we're scheduled for a motion for early discharge. Go ahead, Ms. Bavin.
Good morning, Your Honor. Thank you. Mr. Urias, I apologize. I'm not sure. Can you hear me? Keep
I
saying
can
that.
cut out right now, but I couldn't tell why, if it was like a mute or something else.
Okay. All right. Mr. Stevens spoke with Ms. King about this case, and the state is in agreement to release him. I believe Mr. Brent Stevens provided the court with the order, and as well as some documentation about our client and his health, which I don't know if the court wants me to go over again, because I believe the court has been provided with that information.
Right, I do have that.
That is correct, Judge. The state is not opposed to the early discharge.
Okay, let me ask this. Has anybody, let me look at the dates here. Has anybody run a current rap on Mr. Urias?
We have not, Your Honor.
We have not
Ms.
either. No, Your Honor.
Okay. I think, I don't know if I sent a response on those emails. That would be just the last box, I guess, that I checked. Ms. Pineda, do you have something that's updated in terms of a criminal history?
Your Honor, I do not, but I wanted to ask if Hector Carvajal was in the waiting room by any chance?
No. Pineda.
Okay.
What is your concern?
I just wanted, I know it's asking, the actual setting is asking for an early discharge, but what I'm looking at is his expiration date was back on April 23rd, 2021.
Oh.
I'm trying to, I apologize. I thought Mr. Carvajal was going to log on. Let me just check. I believe there's an open
Warrant.
MTR,
Mhm.
motion to adjudicate, and the active warrant on it.
That's correct, Your Honor. And Mr. Stevens had initially filed the motion to recall that to take care of the warrant, but then at the same time also was speaking with Ms. King, and then she agreed to just discharge him. And yeah, it looks a little confusing because it says early discharge, but yes, he did expire last year.
Okay. What I would like to know before I make a decision on this is if we have anything outstanding. I understand Mr. Urias has, I guess, been out of town, right, in Arizona or something like that.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
so I want to make sure we're not picking up new offenses before I let him go.
Judge, real quick, Ms. Pineda, Mr. Carvajal, you said was going to be logging in?
Yes,
Oh,
that
there
was
he
my
is.
understanding. And I apologize, but there is an updated, I had provided the court with a motion that was filed back in 2019, but I see the date of 9/27/21. And it's alleging failure to report. So
I'm sorry for the delay, Carla. I'm here. Judge, good morning.
Good morning, no worries, Mr. Carvajal. What do you have to tell us about Mr. Urias?
Mr. Abraham Urias, Judge, I remember that case very well. I don't even need a summary or anything. He actually completed the institutional phase of safety. Subsequently, he was transferred to the Transitional Treatment Center in Horizon, where he also completed. However, upon release, he never reported to me, and I started looking for him. I was told by the wife he had gone to the hospital. I kept, I got my bench warrant, VN, and everything in order. I kept looking for him, and I was told that he suffered some kind of accident in Arizona where he got paralyzed. That's all I know. Mr. Urias, how you doing?
I'm not doing so fine, to be honest. I'm still in recovery, so it's a long road, but I can't give up, you know?
Mr. Carvajal, and I'm just not looking at the case summary right now. When was he released, I guess, for some type of aftercare treatment or reporting? When was that?
I don't think I heard the question, Judge. Can you repeat the question?
So when he began to then be non-compliant, what time are we talking about there? What was
the following day? They report to me in person the following day upon release from TTC. TTC is the halfway house or transitional treatment house center, either in Odessa or any other one in the state of Texas. They report the day they get released. Of course, if they get released on a Saturday or on a Sunday, they report to me on a Monday.
Okay, but what are we talking about? When was that? 2019, 20?
Yes, Judge, I'm thinking, my notes show that he was in SafeP from September 2018 to July 2019. So I'm assuming from there he went to the treatment center or transitional center.
And the accident happened when?
I don't know exactly what happened, Judge. I think he went to the hospital, but on an unrelated matter. I think the actual accident happened months or a year later. I'm not clear on that. I don't have any information. I think I spoke to the wife like twice briefly, but I don't think they were together at the time. So she didn't have a lot of information either.
So hold on a second. Let me hear from Missy Bobbin so we have one at a time, please. Go ahead.
Judge, I believe it was in April 2020. Is that correct, Mr. Urias?
Yes, correct.
So we're probably about 9 months after he goes MIA that we have the accident.
Your Honor, on the medical record that I did receive was admission date is May 27, 2020.
Okay. All right. So again, I'm not going to move on this until I see a criminal history that is current.
I probably have it, Judge.
Okay. And I'm thinking, Mr. Carvajal, that's going to include like non-Texas arrests, right?
Let me see what I have, because that case is kind of old, Judge.
Sure.
No, it's before me, it was Supervisor Agustin Ruiz, the one that had safety duties assigned. So I don't have it.
Okay. So basically, somebody needs to run a rap. And I want to see what, if anything, is on there since he was released.
Judge, we just sent that request in.
Okay. All right. I'm happy to set this 1 week out. I may not wait that long, Missy Bobbin, depending on what we find out. So whoever gets that information, if you will circulate that email amongst counsel and the court and probation, and we'll come back in a week.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank
you. Want
all.
Mr. to sign in next week if we still need that hearing or no?
I'm not going to require it. He can be here. Obviously, if it's something that's going to be denied, then you can talk to your client. But I'll hold off on that until then. Okay. Mr. Carvajal, thank you for popping in.
No, thank you, Judge, and I'm sorry about being late.
No worries.
Your Honor,
Monday.
did you, if you give me maybe 5 minutes, I can get one. I can make this one really quick. I don't know if everybody, if you mind, and if people.
So we'll take a quick break. Yeah, that'll work. Great.
Thank
you. So we'll come back to this one. Who's next, Chuy?
Okay, Judge, Perez on page 5.
Go ahead.
It's cause number 2019-0D06358, State of Texas versus Perla. Perez, announcement of counsel, please.
Roll again for the state of Texas.
Give me 1 second. All right, there Is Ms. Bettis here? Yeah, there she is.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Do I turn on my video?
If you can, please do. All right. Let me see. Carla, can you give me an update on this one? Let me see.
Yes, Your Honor. We were to follow up on Ms. Perez. She had a TAP appointment and on 1/21/22. We had discussed last hearing if she needed treatment as per TAP, if she was recommended for treatment, she would get extended as her probation term is about to expire on the 17th of this month. If no treatment was recommended, an MTR was to be filed and she was to be revoked. So the outcome of the assessment from TAP was that she was to seek outpatient treatment. It was recommended, but the reason Ms. Perez does have Medicaid, therefore she was referred to seek treatment on her own. I am not sure at this moment if she has gone to get treatment or signed up somewhere. There were no updates. As per the probation officer's report, she was to provide a drug test as well, and she failed to do so as of 1/28/22, which was Friday. And there is no updates in the system as of right now.
So why didn't we get a drug test, Ms. Perez?
I had spoke to Miss Brenda. I didn't have any electricity for 2 weeks. I just got it cut on yesterday. I had to pay literally $642. I could show you like the confirmation number. I literally had to pay $642. My significant other lost his job, and I told her, I told Miss Brenda I could take a drug test as soon as he gets paid again, and she said that that was fine, that it was understood. I sent her, I don't know if she, because I know that she's out, so I sent my it's right here, the Texas Drug Offender Education Program certification of completion. I had emailed it to her, to Miss Brenda, but I know that she's out, so I don't know if the new probation officer lady was like sent back to her. I don't know if she ever received it.
So at this point, thank you, Ms. Bettis. So at this point, Carla, the TAP did though recommend
Outpatient services.
And I'm sorry, what is outstanding? I mean, you have a certificate there, Ms. Perez. What else is outstanding?
She does have her fine balance, Judge, $500. She has court costs. She has her lab fee of $180, probation payments. She would have to complete the supportive outpatient recommended. And I mean, the community service, which right now, because of COVID, obviously it's been suspended for the meantime. That would be it, Judge.
Ms. Perez, do you, are you able to go get tested this week? Do you financially have the ability to do that?
Yes, I think he gets to get paid on Friday.
So we're gonna reset this status hearing for Thursday of next week. So February 1st, so we're looking at the 10th. If I have not received a clean drug test by that date, Ms. Perez, we are going to extend you to receive treatment per TAP, which I think is going to require some work on your part. I'm sure you don't want to do that.
No, of course not.
I'm telling you, listen, we're coming back 10 days from today, more or less. So it's next Thursday, not in 2 days, but the following week. You are to appear just as you did here today. And what I will expect on that date is that Ms. Pineda from probation will have received the results of your test, and we will go from there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pineda. Thank you, Ms. Perez.
Yes,
All right,
thank you.
Who's next, Sri?
Judge Gomez on page 1.
Go ahead.
Okay, it's cause number 2020-0D05479, State of Texas versus Ernest Gomez. Announcement of council, please.
Robert King for the state of Texas.
That should be Mr. Ortiz.
Mr. Ortiz, are you there? There he is.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. So we're scheduled for a final hearing plea deadline. Ms. King, what's the rec?
Your Honor, so it's gonna be 10 probated for 10 with 30 days ACOP, and that is for both cause numbers. And we already sent the plea paperwork.
In the 30 days, it's not 30, they're concurrent, right?
Correct.
Mr. Ortiz, on those, well, unless we're going to DWI court, which I'm not hearing, I generally let, so you know, Ms. King, the 30 days, they do it over the course of their probation. So ultimately, we might be in, you know, closer to regular circumstances. I think the jail's letting them do it, you know, weekends or whatnot, as they can manage it. But my standard practice is over the course of your probation, just get them done.
Okay, Judge. So I think we already had discussed pleading this case out. So we'll just send for a plea, Your Honor.
What I'll do
plea-
is I'll set you for a status in 2 weeks, anticipating that you all are going to get your plea papers to us, and then we're going to get you a plea setting. Okay?
Your Honor.
Absolutely. Nice to see you, Miss Sandra. Haven't seen you in a while.
Mr. Ortiz, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good. I do also have a 2021 case pending for Mr. Gomez. Do we know what we're gonna do with that one?
I understood those are both pleas. I thought
Sorry
that
about
was
that, Judge. Okay,
I thought that's what I heard. Is that right, Ms. King?
I had different trial tracks. I apologize.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so let's put them together in 2 weeks. Simple.
Sounds great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I think that's the only one I have.
Okay.
No, until 1:30, Mr. Ortiz.
Oh, what? I have one at
well,
1:30?
hold on a second. You know what? Let's if we
You wanna do that
can,
one?
Well, let's talk about that one if I'm not mistaken. Oh, but that's not Miss King, brother. Is this the same gentleman we had last week, the gang kid, Angel Gomez, Mr. Ortiz?
Oh, yes. We fixed we should have
Okay.
fixed the paperwork on that. It was just a little,
Okay. That's, I mean, since you're here, it's what I was gonna ask.
there's a little quirk there at the end, Judge.
Okay, see you at 1:30.
Thank you, Judge.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Who's next to me?
Okay, Judge, of the cases that need to go before you and be in the record, that